What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got Dustin on the show as always. Good to have you.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And we got Pablo from Third World Perspective back again. Good to have you, Pablo.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's always nice talking to you guys. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. And we appreciate your support. You were really hooking us up, with the praise off of that episode last night. And we appreciate all of that. And you're one of our best listeners.
Yeah, I think that basically all that applause, like all that praise, is worth it, man. You guys do a hell of a job, and your consistency is everything, man. Like you guys push content out almost every single day, like every other day. I think it's
Mhm.
warranted.
We're trying. We're working hard, and it means a lot having you on. And you know the game too. So that's it means a lot too. So thanks for coming on again.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
So this is our 2022 NFL playoffs preview episode. The Chiefs and Eagles both claim the number one seeds and home field advantage, except for if the Bills and Chiefs meet in the AFC Championship game, then that would be on a neutral site. Pablo, how do you think that might affect who comes out of the AFC? If it's potentially Bills, Chiefs, neutral site.
Yeah, I think part of the reasoning of why the NFL, like if part of the reasoning why the NFL said if the scenario was a Bills Chiefs AFC Championship game, it would be okay for neutral site, is because both teams are so good. I don't think home field advantage would actually deter any team, any of the two teams. I think they're so good they could play really well on a neutral site, or on an away game, or like a home game. I think just because of how good those teams are, I don't think home advantage or home disadvantage will be a factor, if it comes down to that in the AFC Championship game. I think that's why they had that scenario mapping out to a neutral site.
Yeah, so you think likely we'll get the best team regardless.
Yeah.
Dustin, we were talking about that a lot about like home field and Buffalo needing it. But if you think about it, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs would be very capable of going anywhere and playing well too, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the Chiefs are a contender, and it doesn't matter where they play, and they've shown that all season long.
Yep. So I mean, the Chiefs come in on a 5-game winning streak. They've been to 4 straight AFC Championship games, looking to go to their fifth. Um, and I think something to keep an eye on, Pablo. What do you think of this? Is everyone's talking Bills Chiefs? We have to remember the Bengals, and your Ravens have a big test in Cincinnati, and I'm keeping a close eye on the Bengals because Joe Burrow's ability to go on the road in the playoffs last year and have so much success and go to the Super Bowl. We have to take the Bengals seriously too, right?
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, we saw the Joe Mixon celebration about like the coin toss and basically rubbishing it. I'm sure the NFL like fined him or something. I think they were massive. They part of the reason why they wanted to basically have an easier playoffs than they did last year is because they wanted home field advantage. That's why basically they played really well throughout the entire season and obviously won the division. But I agree with you. I think they're always a contender. Basically, whenever Burrow is healthy, and obviously that wide receiver trio is a monster, and I think they'll always contend. And obviously, we've seen their defense step up also. Like they're always in that conversation. Obviously, people won't talk much about them considering it's still wildcard weekend. Maybe they'll talk about them when you get to the divisional round.
Yeah,
But the Bengals are a contender for sure.
yeah. You agree with that, Dustin? I mean, we can't sleep on Cincy. They're absolutely in that same conversation, huh?
Yes, absolutely. And I've been saying, like, how do we know for sure that the Bengals wouldn't have won that game against the Bills and changed everything? You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was and they're going to be tough to beat. Joe Burrow has proven he can win anywhere. He can beat Mahomes. And so we'll see. I would love to. It sucks the Mar Hamlin situation happened because I wanted to see Bengals Bills, and I kind of hope that we get to see that meeting in the playoffs. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm not hoping for such a meeting because that will mean the Ravens are out.
Yeah,
But 100%, obviously that would have been interesting. Obviously, happening in the first quarter, it was just like a bum of a Monday for basically everyone. And
yeah,
yeah, but I think in terms of the Bengals, just think of basically where the defending champs are this year. Like I think they're maybe like 5-12 or
hmm,
something along that those lines. The basic, it's so hard to basically like like to be a contender the following season, especially after getting to the Super Bowl and everything. And the Bengals have basically bounced back, winning the division and basically in the playoffs again this year. So it's just basically it's proof that they're such a good team and they shouldn't be taken for granted. I think that's the takeaway from what the Bengals are doing right now.
absolutely. Dustin, any concern about the Eagles? They started 13-1, then Jalen Hurts gets injured, and they kind of backed their way into the playoffs. He played well in Week 18. Are you worried about maybe the Eagles peaked in the regular season and they come in and maybe can get caught by a team in the NFC? Home field advantage is going to be key, though. At Philly in January is always going to be tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to me, do they have the toughest road out of the one seeds? Yes. I mean, you'd have to face, San Francisco and, even a Tampa team who could possibly sneak up on you. So,
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota.
they obviously lost a couple of those games because Jalen Hurts was hurt. We have to take that, you know, in perspective too. But they're my pick to go to the NFC title game. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How are you feeling about the Eagles, Pablo?
Yeah, I'm gassed about the Eagles. I love the Eagles. Like they're such a team you want to root for every single year. And whenever they play really good, they're entertaining. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously during the off season, I think I was among the very few who thought Jalen Hurts could be their franchise quarterback. I'm so glad that basically everything panned out for him.
Yeah.
But in terms of his health is back now. So there's no excuse. I think they'll be going in basically 100%. They want to win every single game and get to the dance. And obviously, like you guys said, obviously Tampa is on their way, and like San Francisco, and obviously you have the Vikings as well in that conversation. So it's not going to be easy, but obviously with Hearts, basically they have a chance.
Yeah.
Without him, not so much, but he's healthy now, so we'll see how everything happens. How basically it all goes.
So, Bills Dolphins is the 2-7 matchup. It sounds like so. What's the latest we've heard is we expect Tua to play, right? Have you heard
I don't
Pablo?
think. I don't think so. I don't think Tua will play. If he does, it's going to be more of a last minute thing. It's more of a like a game decision. I think they expect him to at least train this week, so
Yeah.
that will be positive. And I think they're looking at it in terms of, obviously this is like his second concussion this year,
Yeah.
and they really want to protect him. And obviously the NFL has been involved in his case in particular. I don't think, obviously the Bills are contenders, they're like the favorite. I don't think um, Mike McDaniel will basically look at this like as a winnable game and like as a championship winning season. So most probably he won't play. I'd say like 40-60 he doesn't play.
Yeah. What do you think on that, Dustin? I mean, I think we kind of assumed that Tua would play, but you do have to be careful with the concussion history. And do you think that the Dolphins see that as a winnable game in Buffalo? And if it's close, maybe you do try to play Bridgewater or Skylar Thompson. What do you think?
I mean, if you have Tua, they have a shot. You know,
Mm-hmm.
without Tua, I just don't think so. I don't think that they have enough. The Bills are just too good. But you also do have to protect Tua because man, he's already 2 in this season, and the first one was very bad. Like it didn't look good.
Arguably three concussions in. I mean, two documented.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. selfishly, I hope he plays so that it's a better game. But I think the Bills win regardless. And yeah, I mean his health,
Yeah.
his long-term health is most important.
Yeah, I tweeted about this a couple of days ago. That basically the Bills at this point. I tweeted about this before the Bucks won the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. That the
Mhm.
Bucks basically should win, considering the Chiefs' problems on the offensive line and the health of a lot of people on the Chiefs. And I talked about this considering the Rams last year with OBJ and Von Miller and basically the gang and Cooper Cup basically getting really hot. And I'm saying the same about the Bills this year because they basically have everything to win. They have the QB, they have the wide receivers, they have basically the special teams. Considering what Naeem Hines did during the weekend, and they also have the story now because like you always need to have an adversity story to basically push you like through the mental toughness that basically comes to give you the mental toughness that comes to the playoffs. Obviously, they have the 6 feet of snow. If you guys remember, basically they had to play in Detroit because they had 6 feet of snow in Buffalo. Basically, Bills Mafia like clawing players out of their houses and everything. And they have the Von Miller injury, which is massive. That's also another story. Now they have the Damar Hamlin story, which is also like a big talking point. So basically, they have everything to win. If they don't, I think the Bills curse would be real, man, because like
Yeah.
getting to 5 Super Bowls and not winning. If they don't this year, I think the curse would be real for sure.
Yeah, and they're a team I think that almost everyone's going to be rooting for, right? I mean, like
Yeah, yeah,
the DeMar
yeah,
Hamlin story makes them so much, to root for them. And then I think people are getting kind of tired of the Chiefs, always being the favorite. And so everyone would love to see someone new, whether it's the Bengals get back or the Bills get through. So
yeah.
Dustin, you were all over the Bills. You predicted them in the preseason to go 14-3 and win the Super Bowl, right?
Yes, sir.
Have you changed? Has anything changed your mind, or are you sticking with that?
I'm sticking with that actually, and what makes me even more convinced that they're gonna win is the Damar Hamlin story. You know,
Yeah,
they're gonna go out every playoff game and they're gonna play for him. You know, because he's not gonna be able to play, unfortunately. Um, and then I just think that Josh Allen is hungry, and this is his moment, his prove it moment that hey, I'm the best quarterback in the NFL. You know,
yeah.
the,
Go
the Bills
show it.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Bills have so much. They're tired of the national media. Well, you guys get to the Super Bowl, but you're 0-4. They want all that to be stopped. So
Mhm.
you know what I'm upset about? I wanted this to be Bills Patriots, and if the Patriots could have taken care of business and gotten that win Week 18. And Pablo, what do you think of Bill Belichick? Is always such a great coach, such a well coached team, right? But
Yeah.
this year, so many times the Patriots have looked like undisciplined, and especially on special teams, and allowing Naheem Hines to go for 2 touchdowns. You're not going to win many games allowing 2 kick return touchdowns. So New England just kept shooting themselves in the foot all season long. That's kind of concerning, isn't it?
Yeah, and obviously the Raiders game stands out as well, losing
Oh my
losing
goodness,
that
that
fashion.
loss was
Yeah.
so bad. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, 100%. I think they were doomed to lose against the Bills anyway. There's no chance that New England would have won against the Bills this weekend. I think the energy was just different. Perhaps if maybe the game was in New England, maybe they would have stood a
Yeah,
chance. But I think they didn't stand a chance. I think if Naeem Hines doesn't return those 2 kickoffs for touchdowns, I think basically it would have been a different ball game, and maybe someone else steps up with the plays. But like back to your point with Belichick and basically the Patriots being undisciplined, it's unprecedented for Patriots teams to actually play like the way they have played this year. And I think a radio call basically said it's the dumbest New England team ever. this year. So yeah, I think it's terms of I don't think they have enough leaders. I think or you can point out to Matt Jordan on the defense, or on offense. I don't think they have any leader, and I think they'll try to rectify that. Obviously, they think they'll have the 14th draft pick or something in the draft come April. But I think they'll do a lot in the off season. Obviously, they tried to get a lot of people in last year, and it hasn't turned out that way. And obviously, Belichick is coming back for I think his 25th year in the league or 24th year in the league. I think they'll get better next year. We just haven't seen it this year. That's it. Yeah, we just haven't seen it.
One of the rumors right now, Dustin, is that DeAndre Hopkins could get traded from the Cardinals, bro. One team that could use DeAndre Hopkins desperately and veteran leadership and help out Mac Jones, the Patriots.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. And I mean that'd be a big time weapon. But I want to say something real quick about the Patriots. Is I knew it wasn't going to be a successful season when I don't know what Belichick was thinking, but at that point he had the two offensive coordinators. You know,
Yeah. And
Brady
it's
and
the, who are
Yeah,
defensive coaches. Yeah,
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 made no sense.
you have a pretty well-minded defensive coach calling offensive plays. I was like, that that's definitely a
what's
straight.
going on? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's like purposefully stacking all the odds against you to see if you can overcome that. Like, what offense is
Yeah,
going to be successful with Matt Patricia calling plays? And especially when you got a young quarterback like Mac Jones.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. He needs to sort out that offensive coordinator situation. It's not ideal.
yeah. How about this? I mean, we all expected the Packers to sneak into the playoffs, and the Lions beat them week 18. I can't remember since I've been watching football. I can't remember the Lions going into Lambeau and beating the Packers in a must-win for Green Bay. I've never seen it, Dustin. What? You've been on the Lions all year, but you were rooting for Green Bay in that game, and Aaron Rodgers is a bad man, but Detroit really stuck it to him. It's a big accomplishment for the Lions.
Yeah, uh, absolutely, and they got something to look forward to, man. If they can get their quarterback, I mean, I believe in Jared Goff, but you need a playmaker, a guy who's going to take you to the next level.
Is that
And
like CJ Stroud or somebody?
I love C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young,
Yeah,
somebody in that type of ballpark. But Dan Campbell, he's the guy, and I think next year we're gonna see Detroit make a playoff run.
yeah. Uh, Pablo, what do you think? I mean, Green Bay was on that run. What were they, 4-8, and trying to get into the
Yeah,
playoffs? So,
yeah.
uh, incredible story for Detroit to ruin what would have been a great story for Green Bay.
I think the last time the basic yeah, I think the last time that happened, it was basically the 80s, where the Lions basically beat the Packers at Lambeau. But I think in terms of home field advantage, we haven't seen it at Lambeau at all this year.
Yeah,
The Jets game stands out. Obviously, the New York Jets also had a chance basically to get into the playoffs, but they just trailed off towards the end of the regular season. Obviously, that Jets game was also like a turnaround as well, considering the Jets basically they don't have a quarterback that they can rely on, and they are basically all defense, and their offense is not that bad. And obviously, with Brees Hall going down as well, like I think the Packers have been struggling at Lambeau. Um, Basically at the start of the year, I'll say that. But considering basically the Lions, I really wanted the Lions to get in, man. Like, it has been almost forever since we saw them in the playoffs, man. I think it has
yeah,
been maybe 7 years. um i'm
yeah.
not
Like
i'm not exactly sure.
2014, 2013, something around
Yeah,
there.
yeah, maybe 7, 8 years or 9 years. Yeah, we have missed them. I think the last time they were in the playoffs, Calvin Johnson was playing. But obviously the Lions are a team that basically you want to root for, man. They play really like tough, and basically they have that never give up spirit, and just like getting like maybe 7 wins or 8 wins in a season. unprecedented for what you would have thought for the Lions, given their history without success. But just in terms of the Packers, the season has not been great, and obviously we don't know if Aaron Rodgers will come back next year. There's still speculation, basically regarding his future, despite the fact that he signed a deal last year. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm not sorry that they're not in the playoffs. I just hate seeing like teams that have been to the playoffs get back to the playoffs.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Dustin, speaking of the Lions, Jamal Williams breaks Barry Sanders' franchise record for rushing touchdowns in a season. Jamal Williams isn't Barry Sanders, but credit to the Lions for building that O-line, right? And that can make
Yeah.
a good running back look great.
Absolutely. I mean, the key to success these days is building in the trenches.
Yep,
And
on both sides of the ball, yeah.
And that's with any football sport, high school, college, pro. You build in the trenches, you have a good shot to win a lot of games. But
Absolutely.
hey, come on, Alex. It's time we give Jamal his credit, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, he's had a good
100%.
year. He's had a good year. I want to see what he does next year too. If he keeps this up, then we got to start giving him a lot of credit. I mean, hell of a year, and I want to
Yeah.
see what he does year two as
You heard
well.
Yeah. Yeah, talking of building in the trenches, how about basically Hutchinson having 3 interceptions, man? A D
Yeah,
lineman with 3 interceptions for the year in his first year in the league. That's massive.
first since like Richard Dent in 1990.
Yeah.
Incredible. Bad take for me saying Trayvon Walker was the better pick at number one. Aiden Hutchinson's
Yeah.
been an absolute monster.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's also the fact it's also part of the reason. I'm sorry to cut you off here, Alex,
Very good.
but part of the reason why he has been so good is because Dan Campbell was actually a DC. I think it would have been very different if Trevor Noah was playing under a defensive minded head coach and just like giving him that basically insight. It would have been massive for Walker as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So 49ers Seahawks, Brock Purdy to start. Crazy that the Seahawks made the playoffs with Geno Smith. Credit to Geno. I love Geno coming out of college, out of West Virginia, but then it's like we thought we knew who he was, right? He was a backup quarterback in this league. But credit to him, he, I believe, broke the Seahawks franchise record for passing yards in a season. I believe
Jeez,
so.
jeez.
Passing Russell Wilson. So, Dustin, 49ers Seahawks, good game. What do you think?
I do think it's going to be a good game. I mean, the Seahawks have enough to stay in the game, but at the end of the day, I just think that the Niners defense is just going to make big plays and be in Geno's face a little bit.
You know how you beat the Niners? Feed Kenneth Walker, right? He needs to have a big game.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
then about Brock Purdy, man. I mean, the dude's a baller.
Yeah. Let's start calling him Mr. Relevant, right?
About time.
Go ahead, Pablo.
Yeah, I agree in terms of feeding Kenneth Walker, but
Yeah.
that 49ers defense against the run, incredible, man. I'm not sure if Kenneth Walker will basically have a massive game here. Although feeding him is basically what they should do considering the season that he has had. He basically, I think he's leading rookies in terms of rushing yards here.
Yep.
But Geno Smith has also had a hell of a year, and I think it's mostly credit to him. Basically, he hasn't trot back to the haters yet. Obviously, carrying the Seahawks to the playoffs. Everyone thought they would finish bottom in the NFC West. That hasn't happened. But still, also like credit should go to basically Pete Carroll. I think he has
Absolutely.
done an incredible job this year. Obviously, the Seahawks basically had no one going into the season, and we're talking about a Seahawks team that has been successful without DK Metcalf basically carrying basically most of the headlines. And they have done a really good job. Obviously, they have the rookies stepping up. Like on the defensive side of the ball, you have Tariq Woolen.
Yeah.
I think a fourth or fifth round cornerback, who is basically leading the league in interceptions. So
Mhm.
credit should go to Pete Carroll as well. He has done a hell of a job.
Absolutely. Good take there. Um, Bengals Ravens, big game. So my big question to you, Pablo. What I mean, man, what's going on with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens? I mean,
Yeah, the big question is that guy is him, man. Like
yeah,
that's the big question. We don't know. No one knows. Everyone is asking about Lamar Jackson and basically what's going on with his knee. Will he be ready to play? I've just seen Ian Rappaport speak about him. It seems like even like the wildcard weekend game this Sunday, it's not a sure thing that he will play. Obviously, the Ravens are starting to practice today. Wednesday is the first time that they're practicing. Obviously, they'll practice Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And it still isn't a sure thing that Lamar will even practice today. So I think it's more like, again, a 40-60%, a 40-60 chance that he plays. I think there's a big chance that we see Snoop Huntley against Joe Burrow on Sunday. But hopefully he's healthy and ready to go, man, because we literally don't stand a chance without him. It's sad, but it's true. It's what it is. But for Ravens fans, even if he doesn't play, I'm pretty sure that the Ravens fans will back him, and basically we all just want to see him sign an extension. We just want to make sure that he stays a Raven for maybe the next 5, 6, 7 years. That's
yeah,
basically where we're at. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. What do you think on that situation, Dustin?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Ravens need Lamar. The whole team flows through him,
Yeah,
and Huntley is not a bad backup quarterback, but he's not the guy who can go into Cincinnati and be a
when,
difference. And
yeah.
my question for Pablo is, do you believe that the Ravens are all in on trying to give him a contract extension?
I think all in, like, how do you define all in? Like, how do you define all in?
Like,
And the big question is he wants 230 plus mil guaranteed. He wants that fully
Yeah,
guaranteed. That's the big
yeah,
sticking point. They want to pay him, but do they want to pay him
yeah,
that much? And you
yeah,
look at the
yeah,
past 2 years, he's missed time with injury. So they're going to point
yeah,
to that. And then, so my
yeah.
question to Pablo is, do you think Lamar would be willing to play on the franchise tag? There's a lot of things at play here.
Yeah, I don't think he would have an option, man. Obviously, when you get sacked, you play. But I don't think he would prefer it. I think he would prefer going into 2023 with a massive extension. And I think $230 million guaranteed is it sounds nuts, but I think he wants like 250 maybe. In terms of Dustin's question and like the Ravens being all in, I agree with you, Alex. I think they really want to pay him, but they don't want to pay him that badly that they give him an amount of money that they think is basically an overpayment. So I think that's where they are at with it. I think they want to pay him, but they just don't want to give him that much.
What
Um, yeah,
what if
Roquan Smith signed a deal. Roquan
Yeah, I
Smith
love
says,
that, man. Roquan getting
yeah,
paid, represented himself. Love to see that.
yeah. Obviously, the self representation has also come up in the media with Lamar Jackson also representing himself.
Mm,
But I think for him, for sure, we knew they were going to extend him. I think there wasn't a chance that the Ravens actually trade for him. Basically, the best tackler in the league. I think at the moment the best inside linebacker in the league, and basically not
Agreed.
pay him.
Tell him.
Yeah, yeah. But in terms of Lamar Jackson, like, yeah, I'm thinking if the Jets come in with a deal, they offer maybe a couple of first round picks, maybe a few seconds and some fourths. I think the Ravens might look that way and maybe
You said the
think
you
of
said the
basically
Jets.
switching the entire system. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing to keep an eye on because I think the Falcons too are interested. And so if a team comes along that's willing to trade a boatload for Lamar, plus are willing to pay him that contract that he wants, that's going to be something to keep an eye on. So
yeah.
these are
Carolina as well.
Atlanta. Yeah, they've been rumored.
Yeah, Carolina as well, the
Oh,
Panthers.
Carolina. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, Alex. I mean, even if I'm a Ravens fan, I would tell John Harbaugh play him at 80%. It still gives you a shot to try to win the game.
Yeah. I mean, but then if you gotta is risk. Does he get hurt and then it hurts his trade value or something like that? So there's a lot of factors at play. Real quick on Roquan and Lamar representing themselves, the national media and fans buy into this, right? They kill a player for representing themselves, and they say that hurts your ability to get a long-term deal done. Yeah, that's all BS. And Roquan just showed it. You can represent yourself and you can do a great job representing yourself and save you a lot of money that you don't have to pay your agent. The reason that the national media attacks players that represent themselves is because they're in bed with the agents. They rely on the agents to give them information on trade rumors, contract extensions, all that stuff. So they're going to protect the agents. The agents are going to protect them. It's a back and forth thing. And so
Yeah,
it's
100%.
politics, is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So these sheep fans need to stop turning on players like Roquan Smith and Lamar just because they represent themselves.
Did that
Yeah,
make
I also
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I think it's different in the NFL. In the NFL, like you get slaughtered when you don't have an agent. Like you get
Yeah.
absolutely slaughtered. I think it's different in other sports because like in soccer or like in European football, I think it's different because like you get praised when you actually negotiate your own deal. I think one of the most famous soccer stars in the world, Kevin De Bruyne, he plays for Belgium, the Belgium national team, plays for Manchester City, a team in the Premier League. He negotiated like I think he earns maybe like 200,000 pounds a week, or like not 200, like 350,000 pounds a week, which translates to maybe like half a million or like $600 million a week.
Yeah.
And he basically everyone was praising him for negotiating his that contract by himself, which on the flip side in the NFL you get slaughtered and no one actually appreciates that a player can actually negotiate like millions in dollars basically and get paid.
Yeah, it's complete narratives, right?
Yeah.
You can see right through it, absolutely.
Mm.
Um, Vikings Giants, bro. So if you remember when the Vikings and Giants played each other, Dustin, in the regular season, Week 16, the Vikings needed their longest field goal in franchise history at the buzzer to beat these Giants. This is upset watch. This is a game that the Giants very easily could go into Minnesota and upset the Vikings. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And that's my hot take for the week is New York's going to
Wow.
Minnesota.
They're going to
Wow.
beat them in
I think
Minnesota.
I think we're gonna see a massive game from Saquon, and I think Daniel Jones stays turnover free.
And do you think Kirk Cousins plays a role? Maybe a couple of turnovers from Kirk?
Yeah, and I mean, I just can't. I've seen too many close games from Minnesota. The playoffs is where those close games are going to come back to haunt you.
Yeah. What do you think, Pablo?
Yeah, I'm the total opposite. Like, why would I back? Why would I actually root against a team that I've seen basically be a monster during the regular season, man? Like, I think the big factor here is JJ. Is he healthy enough to play? Is Justin Jefferson healthy? Obviously, I know the Vikings fans. They're basically some of the most loyal fans, and although it's basically an indoor game. I think basically it will play a fact that it's played up in Minnesota. And although the Giants have a really good defense, I think obviously Wink Martindale is doing a really good job. Obviously we've seen Kevin Thibodeau actually just like improve as the season goes along. But
Yeah.
I'm not rooting against the Vikings. I think that they have had a stellar season, and I don't think they'll get to the championship game. I don't think they'll get to the NFC championship game, but I think they for sure will get past the Giants. I don't see the Giants doing anything up there. And yeah,
Yeah.
no,
It's a
basically.
I think it's a game to keep an eye on. I agree the Vikings are way more talented and should win. They got a great home field advantage. You know, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook could have a big game. So it's a game to keep an eye on.
Okay.
And you know, we'll see. But credit to Brian Dable, Dustin, on the job he's done with Daniel Jones. This is the best season we've seen from Daniel Jones, and it coincides with the hiring of Brian Dable and getting the Giants back to the playoffs. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen what Dable did with Josh Allen and his, you know, build up, and stuff. And sorry, I had lost words, but it's bear with
But
me.
yeah,
With his
Yeah, you're
development,
good.
yep.
he takes it over to New York and has Daniel Jones playing pretty well. And I know Minnesota's more talented on paper, but I don't trust Kirk Cousins, man. I just don't right now. He has a lot to prove to me.
We'll see.
Okay.
It's a big
Yeah, that's
opportunity.
fair.
We have seen Kirk Cousins go into New Orleans and beat the Saints in the playoffs, so he is capable. And the big question is, can he do it? The Giants are going to need Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari to get to the quarterback if they're going to have a chance to win this. Bucks Cowboys, big game. If you remember, the Bucks won the season opener in Dallas, 19-3. Everyone's gonna say, "Well, Dak Prescott got hurt," but I went back and watched that. Dak didn't get hurt until they were down 19-3.
Yeah.
Dak is not playing his best football right now. He's had multiple turnover games and pick sixes in like every game since week 13. So I am not high on the Cowboys. I think Tom Brady is the GOAT. He is playoff football. Give me the Bucks over the Cowboys. What do you think, Pablo?
Yeah, I don't even know why we're talking about this. The Bucks are going to win. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, like fun fact for you guys. Brady is 6-0 against the Cowboys. Like I'm not sure why we're talking about this. Obviously, he'll go 7-0 this weekend. I think in terms of just like in terms of teams, the Bucks are a better team. Obviously, their regular season record doesn't show it. Considering the Cowboys actually have a better season record, but the Bucks are a better team. Defensively, they're better. Obviously, the Cowboys without Lawrence and Parsons are basically they have no one on defense. Obviously, Diggs has had basically a disappointing season. But the Bucks are better on defense. They're better on offense. And obviously, the Cowboys don't have Tony Pollard. We don't know if he's healthy. Um, they're relying on basically Zeke to do everything and basically Lamb to step up and basically Schultz. I'm not seeing if they'll pose a threat against the Bucks. Obviously, the Bucks are at home, and Brady basically in the playoffs is Thomas Patrick Edward Brady. So
Yeah.
he is the goat. Like basically you said. I think the Bucks should win this one easily.
Yeah, Dustin, I say it all the time. The Tom Brady is not a regular season quarterback. He's a playoffs quarterback. That's what he lives for. And you know, I don't give Dallas much of a shot here at all on Monday night. What do you think?
You don't give him much of a shot. I mean,
Yeah.
the
As bad as the Bucks have looked at times in the regular season, I think the Bucks are going to be hitting on all cylinders on Monday night.
look, I think that the Bucks win with the fact that it's in Tampa, but
Mm-hmm.
that offense, man, they're just not very good.
I prediction: Bucks 38, Cowboys 17.
Oh man, dude,
Wow, 21 points.
them Cowboys
Okay.
coming after you guys.
I think they will win, but I don't think they will win by more than three scores or like three scores.
Three
But
scores is a
I'll
lot.
I'll yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll say this regarding the Cowboys and basically I know regarding the Bucks offense like Dustin just mentioned. I hope you guys saw the Mike Evans hat trick the other day. Like in week 17. Basically, this offense is good enough to play when it needs to. We have not seen it consistently over the season, over
Yeah.
throughout the season, but they should. Mike Evans is still the monster that they have basically out wide, and obviously they have Cade Otton who is becoming a monster tight end. Obviously Brady likes to feed him. We have seen him make plays. Obviously they have Chris Godwin in the slot as well. And basically, whenever you have Brady, like you don't need basically everyone. You don't need one or two good players. You need basically everyone to eat, and he will feed the ball to basically everyone. So in terms of their offense, I'm not worried. I'm worried about their secondary because we haven't seen Antoine Winfield Jr. play as good as he did during their Super Bowl run, and I'm hoping the playoffs actually sparks that up and he gets informed because whenever he's playing well, the Bucks defense is always on point.
Agree. Carlton Davis, Murphy Bunting, Antoine
Hmm.
Winfield, those guys got to ball
Yeah,
out. To me,
yeah,
a guy who always seems to step his game up in the playoffs, Leonard Fournette. Keep an eye on him. I also like running back Rashad White too. That's a good underrated running back combo.
yeah,
So
yeah,
looking forward to that game. I'm not a big fan of it being on Monday night. I wish it was 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, but ESPN's got to get their money too.
yeah,
So whatever.
yeah. They
Let
need to
me
Uh,
eat as well.
go ahead, Dustin.
let me say this, man. Look, if Brady goes on a run and makes it to the Super Bowl and wins the damn thing at 45,
I'm
I I can
Yeah,
never
nuts.
get back again and ever doubt him.
not gonna let you doubt him ever again. I'm gonna give you so much shit if you ever. Brady is the goat, man. He's already proven it, and if he does it at this age with this team, nothing more needs to be said. Last game, Jags Chargers. Surprisingly, shockingly, no one would have predicted in the preseason the Jags win that division and host a playoff game. Yet here we are. Trevor Lawrence had a big season. Credit to Doug Peterson for the turnaround. And we get a hell of a matchup. Two young quarterbacks in their first playoff game. Trevor Lawrence against Justin Herbert. Pablo, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, and just like looking back to the preseason, everyone had the Colts winning that division, man.
Yeah,
Like
especially
it's
Dustin.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy how that division has turned out. And obviously, Doug Peterson has done an incredible job down there in Jacksonville. I think we're starting to see the best of Trevor Lawrence. Basically, I forget who it was. I'm not sure if it was Oluwakun or some. I forget who it was. Someone said that the difference this year has been the coaching, and obviously, basically looking back to last year when Urban Meyer was at the job. I think they are a better team now, and obviously they beat the Ravens in a game that the Ravens should have won. I've seen them up and close, and I think that defensively they're basically a team to contend with. Offensively, not so much because like they have players that can surprise you, like shock you here and there. Players like Jamichael Hasty and like obviously Christian Kirk sometimes can come up with the plays, and obviously Evan Ingram has also like gotten better as the season has gone along.
Evan
But I
Ingram, I
think
like
in
him.
terms of being underrated, they are an underrated team, and obviously the Chargers as well. They have a great team. Austin Eckler is basically the most underrated player in the league. He basically leading the league in touchdowns over the past 2 seasons and not making to a Pro Bowl is crazy.
Yeah,
I don't.
no one talks about him. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it has ever happened in the league where someone basically leads the league in touchdowns and he hasn't gotten a Pro Bowl selection. And obviously, they also have injury problems of their own, the Chargers. And I think in this one, I'm biased because I've seen the Jaguars pretty close. I'd go with the Jaguars because I just think the Chargers they okay. I just think the Chargers they don't have the mojo that the Jaguars have right now. I don't think they have it.
So I agree. I think the Jaguars should win. The Chargers are very capable of pulling the upset. They're talented enough.
Yeah,
They can do it.
yeah.
I My personal bias, I'm gonna say head coach Brandon Staley does something stupid, and that's gonna determine the outcome. But Dustin, the Chargers are very capable of winning in Jacksonville. But give me the Jags. What do you say?
I mean, absolutely they are, and I have to agree with you. I think it's going to come down to a coaching decision on a 4th and 1 or a 4th and 2, you know,
4th and
where
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's going to be very important, you know, type of decision he's going to have to make.
Yeah.
It's going to be a close game. I mean, you have two young quarterbacks battling it out, but I like the Jags, man, and the fact that it's in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, one thing I've learned in the maybe like 1.5 or 2 years that I've known Alex is that Alex knows about his head coaches, man. Like obviously you said Kingsbury is a fraud and obviously he's out. You said the same about I forget who else you said.
Matt
I'm not sure if it
Nagy.
was yeah, Matt Nagy as well. Like you know your head coaches, and basically, I'm not sure how you can tell if someone is a good head coach. I I I I, I have no ability to do that. But something that I've learned about you, you always know your head coaches. But I think Staley has learned from basically the 4th and 1
Might
and like
have.
4th and 2 decisions from
Yeah.
his rookie year. Hopefully, it doesn't make a mistake, man, because the Chargers, their first time in the playoffs in a while, they should looking at this they should be looking at this like an opportunity, and obviously for the progression of the team going forward, and obviously for the experience for basically of Herbert in the playoffs, they should be looking at this like an opportunity to win or like basically get to the divisional game.
Yeah. What do we say all the time? The playoffs is where narratives are formed, right? So
Mhm.
this is a big
Yeah.
game for Trevor Lawrence against Justin Herbert. All eyes are going to be on it. And during this offseason, a lot of talk about who's the better quarterback is going to come down to how they play. So it's a big game for both quarterbacks. I can't wait. And this weekend is going to be so much good football, and it's going to be a blast. Wait,
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I think obviously, like with the narrative for Lamar Jackson has always been he can't win in the playoffs, he can't win the playoffs. He won in the playoffs in 2020, obviously against the Titans. Now they're saying he's 1-3 in the playoffs, he's 1-3 in the playoffs. So I agree. Obviously, getting playoff wins obviously gets that narrative basically set. I think someone like Patrick Mahomes, who is something like maybe 12-2 in the playoffs or like
yeah,
10-2 in the
so tough to beat. That home field advantage as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Pablo looks to be frozen right now, but great episode. Dustin, good shit as always, man. I can't wait for this playoff weekend, huh?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. It's kickback time, maybe a couple drinks, you know, and
Yep, couple Hooters. Smoke some Hooters as well and watch some great football, huh?
yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see if Pablo rejoins us, but great stuff as always. Can't wait for this weekend. Thanks for coming on, Pablo. Good stuff as always, Dustin. And have a great weekend, guys. Enjoy some great football. Peace out.